So here we have a whiskey that I reviewed 2 years ago. Just having a look through the collection, trying to think what I've not maybe done in a while. A re-review. I've obviously been back to this since then. Now and then, I've not reached for it as much as you can see. This has been open for about 2 years, or maybe more than 2 years. This is the Craigellachie 13-year-old, and it is a great whiskey. It's something I enjoy and enjoyed at the time. I don't know why I don't reach for it though. It's got everything I kind of like in a whiskey. It uses Wormtubs, which gives a completely different dynamic in the palate and things like that. But I really don't know why I don't go for it. This is a Speyside, and it's 13 years old, so it's very slightly different already. This was brought out, I think it was 2014 that they brought this out into play. John Dewars and Son, the own it. Um, Given an odd age statement, so they've got like a 13, a 17, 23, and moves on from there. And every other distillery is usually 10, 12s, 15s, etc. But they've done something a wee bit different. I love the style of Craigellachie. I've had some amazing independent bottles as well. And I just seen this when I was kind of going through my bottles and thinking, why have I not really went back to this? So the timing's right. We'll do it today. I've already got it sitting in the glass I've been setting up. And this is a 46%er, and it's a 50-50 split from bourbon and sherry. So the colour straight away with it there is quite what I would expect from that split, especially from the age of it. The Wormtubs give this completely different dynamic, and is that going to still stay this big oily texture, or is it going to change the narrative of how this whiskey is now going to taste? I think there's only really one way to kind of find out about this. Get stuck right in. It's one of minimal distilleries, like Mortlack's another one that uses Wormtubs. I think Benrinnes use Wormtubs as well, and there's some new distilleries. I think Ardnahoe they actually use Wormtubs. But this is old school. This is how whiskey used to be made, and keeping it that kind of classic ways, I think really cool. And as I say, it's a style that I like. So again, we give it a wee. I've actually poured an absolute belter of a dram. I didn't mean to pour as much, but as always, we'll have a wee look at the legs on it, and you can see there. Hopefully, it'll try and focus on it. They're just taking their time. It's just oily, viscous, straight off the bat. So I would say it's sherried and bourbon, or bourbon and sherry, a kind of 50-50 split. I don't know if it's first fill, if it's refill bourbon. I'm probably going to go refill. So there we go. Now look at the beading on that. Like, I really do hope it catches it. That's wild. So I'm going to get this on the nose. I'm going to get it back on the palate. I've got no water because I remember last time I really enjoyed it without water. I think water diluted it a wee bit when I tried it when I went back to sit down with it. But we're 2 years on. I don't even want to look at myself in a video back then because I'm all daft. Not as good a mic as well. So, well, let's get stuck in, shall we? Slange everyone. There's a kind of copper note straight off the note. Like the very first thing was copper. Then there's like a muddled apple pie. Like it's not a full citrus fresh. It's like pastry, apple pie, and cinnamon. Like, and I think that'll be the kind of sherry. That's the kind of split of it there, like a dusting of like cinnamon or something. But less copper front. And that's got to be to do with maybe the Wormtubs. It's got the funk to it as well. It's like, and I think one of the big words they use, and it's coming straight back to me, was dirty. It's got a wee dirty note to it. Not in a bad way, but this old school, there's a stuff like kind of lactate now. We're getting towards like a milkshakey note and stuff as well to it. Oh, I forgot how wild that is in the nose. That's great. Copper, wee bit dirty, apple pie, pastry apple pie. It's just like that muddled fruit with a bit of cinnamon in it as well. I think the sherry's coming from that. But I think it's got more bourbon side on the nose, but the palate can now change and give me a more sherry note. So let's get stuck in and see what we get. Slange everyone. I don't know why I've not went back to this. This is great. That's magic. Chewy. It stays a little bit funky there in a really good way. There's a softer, more delicate spice coming through. Like the pastry notes definitely stay there, like a dusting of cinnamon and powdered sugar and thing coming through in the back note. But that copper, heavy, oily note is still there as well. This it's bizarre. I get long finishes with some whiskies, like flavour will stay there. This is long, but for texture and remembering, like, whoa, that was longer than I expected on the palate. There's a tiny, like, I don't know if it's going to be the dirty note as well. It's like soft earthiness, like green pepper, now coming through. It's a cracker of a dram, right? I say I don't know if I've been there. The copper note I'm just stuck with, and it's still staying. But there's a this little now. There's a weird kind of honeyed fudge or something. Now there's something wee bit bizarre there in a good way again. But it's so oily. It's so heavy. It's something that I really enjoy in a whiskey. And I say the independent ones I've had before have been great, and this is magic. I've just overlooked it when I'm looking and picking out drams. I've just pushed this to the side and picked something else. So I definitely need to get back into it. That's nearly halfway down now. It's one that I'll get into. I think you can pick this up still online. You get it everywhere. It's part of the core range, right? It's about between £50 and £60. You'll get it in specials quite a lot of the time. But it's one I would recommend, especially that 50-50 split with bourbon and sherry. I think the branding's pretty cool. There's a lot going on for me to read. I quite like a more the kind of cleaner style on the bottle, but it tells you a little bit about the Wormtubs on the back as well. So definitely give this a try. Pick one up if you've got it. Revisit it. I think this is taking me by surprise again, and I'm quite happy I've poured it. And I'm quite happy I've poured a large one by accident, but I'll get back to going finishing that just now and sitting and enjoy it. This video, I won't add any water to it because I know it's a whiskey that I do enjoy without water, so I'm not going to add any more. It's at 46%, a really good number for me. But a great, great Speyside. What more do we want, eh? Right, I'm going to go sit back, finish my massive dram, and as always, join me next week and let's talk whiskey. Slange.